Hi everybody, Al Bernstein here, another one of my quick hit videos. And on this one, we're going to talk about 2017 and how it looks like that year could be off to a very, very good start. Now, let's talk first about 2016, which has been a challenging year for the sport of boxing. And I use that euphemism because while the year started out in what we all thought was a pretty promising way, as the year wore on, matches that didn't get made because of boxing politics, matches that fell through because of injuries, matches that were canceled for a variety of reasons, kind of started to stack up on the sport. And even though there has been some exceptional fights this year, boxing fans have, I think in general, felt like they haven't received quite the matchups that they would have liked in this year. That's not to suggest that 2016 doesn't still have some good boxing left in it. There are some excellent fights on the schedule that, fingers crossed, will happen. On December 10th on our Showtime card, Jesus Cuellar is going to take on Abner Mares, and also J. Rock Williams battling for the 154-pound title that Jermall Charlo has, and then we also have, of course, Andre Ward taking on Kovalev in what could be a super mega fight, and I think is a terrific fight as well. And equally interesting and exciting, Vasily Lomachenko taking on Nicholas Walters. Anthony Joshua is supposed to return for one more fight. There are a number of fights still on the docket that could be interesting in 2016. But given the state of how boxing fans feel about the sport, it's very important for the sport to get off to a big start in 2017. And now we are virtually assured of that based on a big announcement made by Showtime, the company that I do boxing for, in which they laid out a series of terrific matches early in 2017. Now, it all starts on January 14th with a matchup that I think will be really, really excellent. We expected it. It was one of those fights we expected to see in 2016. It didn't happen, but now it's happening in early 2017 on January 14th, and that is James DeGale and Badou Jack, both with titles in the 168-pound division, getting together for what is definitely the best fight in that weight division. I think most people would argue the two top 168-pounders. It is a fascinating fight, one in which I think is going to be very exciting because James DeGale, who was formerly a little more of a boxer, is now a boxer-puncher pure and simple. And Badou Jack, who's one of the best body punchers in boxing, is a fighter who is right there for you and should create a lot of action. Then on January 28th, Carl Frampton and Leo Santa Cruz do it again. One of the great fights in 2016 was their battle in which Frampton beat Santa Cruz in a decision, one that was close. Some would say is contested, but either way, it was a terrific fight and a very close fight. Frampton getting the win, and it was so exciting that a rematch was called for. And also on that card, Mikey Garcia going for a title in the lightweight division against Dejan Zlaticanin, who is a terrific fighter. So that should be an excellent matchup. Then we fast forward to February 11th when Adrien Broner returns to the ring, presumably his troubles behind him at that point, to take on Adrian Granados, who is a man who beat Amir Aman, who was thought to be one of the best 140-pounders and on the verge of a title. Well, Granados beat him and has also continued his winning streak since then and gets what I think is a well-deserved chance as he takes on Adrien Broner at 140 pounds, and that will be an intriguing matchup. And then on March 4th, assuming Danny Garcia gets past his fight that he's got coming up, he will battle Keith Thurman on March 4th. That's a fight that boxing fans have certainly wanted to see, and that's a fight that will either be on Showtime or possibly on CBS And in either case, it is a highly anticipated matchup. And I think probably one of the 3 or 4 fights that would be at the top of the list that boxing fans say they want to see. Now, yes, I do the boxing for Showtime. And I think most of you know, I talk about good matches wherever they may be telecast or whoever has them. I'm not that interested in who the promoter is or who the network is or anything of that nature. If there's a good boxing match, I'm going to say it's a good boxing match, as I just did about some of those fights in 2016. It just so happens, forget that I work for Showtime, that this announcement is an important one for the sport of boxing. And there may be a bunch of other good matches, and I hope there are, by other networks, by different promoters in the first quarter of 2017. Because if there are, with this beginning, it will give the sport the kind of impetus and momentum that it really needs right now to make the fans happy. You know, we're in the middle of an election year where people talk about taking care of your base before you can expand your base. Well, that's what boxing needs to do, because the base right now, I feel, just from Twitter and social media, being out and about, meeting and greeting fans, the boxing base is a little uneasy. They want really good matches, and all of these are. And I think it's very important that this group of fights will get boxing off to a very good start in 2017. And as I say, there could well be more, and probably will be a lot more, not just in the United States, but across the pond, where great boxing has been happening on a regular basis. So this should make boxing fans feel optimistic about 2017. These are all competitive, important fights in which we have the best against the best. And that's exactly what boxing fans want to see.